not actively blocking unionization as Activision has been doing.
Right.
They've actually made it a statement, I think, during the process of this acquisition that they're not going to do that, which is funny to say, like, hey, we're not going to do the illegal thing.
Right, yeah. We promised to not do an illegal, right?
This buy comes with a lot of value, but a lot of baggage. Like, this company, and granted, look, we're going to say a lot of things about a certain CEO. Here's the thing I will say before we get into all of that. He made the shareholders money. He took a lot of either losing money propositions or successful money propositions and turned them into more money, his fiduciary duty complete. But there's a reason why it's called fiduciary duty, and that's because it smells like poo for the rest of it. Be gone, baby! He's gone! Bobby's gone! That's it! He's out, well, at least in 2024.
Yeah. So he's agreed to stay on until the end of 2023, and then...
Did we say this correctly, though, Will? He's agreed to stay on until the end of 2024. Yeah, so the end of 2023, start of 2023. My point being, I love this golden parachute total. This deal, I believe the word was that Phil Spencer asked him to stay on, to oversee the transition until the beginning of 2024. And I'm like,
he doesn't do anything.
There's no what he makes money for the shareholders, Will. But my point is, I love that. I guarantee you that was baked into the sale. Like, yeah. We have to say it like this. Sure. And when you have to do that, again, I guarantee this to the best of my knowledge of the entire. Yeah. So I cannot believe it. And how fast I thought, honestly, that it would be like a 6 month or like really sort of doing it. But the fact it's going to be less than 3 months from the announcement to his exit shows kind of what a toxic noose this man's career was around the neck of a lot of these companies from everything outside of a profitability standpoint.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we thought we'd take a little trip down memory lane because he's been out of the news cycle. We thought we'd go a brief trip down memory lane as we celebrate Bobby Kotick leaving. Goodbye. Bye. Here's the thing.
Janet, let us know how and Brad, you can let us know right now too, but in the comments, let us know what you know. Even right now, start typing it right now. Right. So that we'll see if we hit those things. Maybe you don't know anything about it.
Right.
And to that I say, I'm Cypher from the Matrix eating that steak. Ignorance is bliss. Like that's a lovely that's a lovely sentiment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so lots of Brad knows nothing.
Brad doesn't know.
All right, so we're not gonna dive too deep into any of these particular accusations because we've done those before and those have been done. This is just a brief recap of all of the things that Bobby Kotick has been a big part of as part of his career. Are you ready? Okay. So the first and biggest one is that he has been credibly accused of really gross abuses of power in the forms of sexual harassment of people who worked at Blizzard. He's also covered for people who have done even more gross things at Blizzard.
Specifically, he's basically what many reports, I believe one was in the Journal and one was in, there was a couple other places, etc. Was basically saying like he was covering up a lot of people's misdeeds in those departments for years.
That's correct. And And then like, you know, little things like threatening to kill his assistant in 2006.
Now, Will, hold on.
Yeah.
He settled that out of court and said he deeply regrets that, and it was a he shouldn't have said it, of course, but whatever, they filed out of there's a whole statement about that. Like, it's so
right.
Sure. Okay.
Right.
How about his general desire to make games less fun and innovative? He basically in 2009 at a Deutsche Bank conference or something was talking about the credibility, like how he saw physical retailers and games, and he went on this weird tangent. It's insane. Like he basically said, I gotta maybe move on. He basically said he wanted to take the fun out of making video games. Right.
He wants to make it a profitable industry and does not care about the fact that fundamentally they're making.
I got it. Here we go. So I believe Team Intel, the Deutsche Bank securities analyst, asked the question: what do you think the retailers' willingness these days is to hold inventory of the video games? Are they building positions today, or are they still very reluctant and very careful how they are buying? They were talking about. I think this was in context of the economy and how spending was going.
Yep.
And Bobby said, I don't think it's a specific to video games. I think that if you look how much volatility there is in the economy and dependent on your view about the macroeconomic picture, I think we have a real culture of thrift. And I think the goal that I had in bringing in a lot of the packaged goods folks that we brought into Activision 10 years ago was to take all of the fun out of making video games. It's a weird pivot to that question. He continues, I think we'll definitely have been able to instill the culture, the skepticism and pessimism and fear that you should have in an economy like we're in today. And so while generally people talk about the recession, we're pretty good at keeping people focused on the deep depression. I don't know what he's saying. Like,
I just want to point out that he viewed, like, we've been pretty good about keeping people afraid. Like that's fundamentally like
it's not even like I kind of see like 20% of where he was answering that question from a retail seller's perspective.
Right.
But also, that's the other thing. Everyone, he's just weird. He's just weird.
He's just
in weird ways.
Right. Yeah. So, in addition, you remember how we were talking about how he's definitely covered for some people who promoted terribly toxic and harmful work culture, particularly for women at ABK? Well, then he said he tried very, very hard to gaslight the entire public into thinking that that's never been the case, and it never happened, and we were all just having a fever dream. He was like, no, it's never been true. There's like a whole article with him and the gamer from a while ago where he was just like, no, we've never had this systemic problem. Never, not once, ever. So absolutely. And then
well, two things. One, Doran chat says, weird isn't bad, but he might be bad. Very fair. That is a fair analysis, because I don't think, I mean, I'll just throw this out there. Will and I aren't exactly not weird. But we also don't do things, and this is a rumor, but I want to bring it up because Bass brought it up. We also don't do things like steal our grandmother's coffee cup when we're a kid and sell it. There is a weird, dumb story rumor. I have no source material, but I have heard this before.
Sure.
Again, this could be incredibly false, but it was just a nice back and forth.
Yeah, right. Allegedly. Yeah, okay.
Allegedly.
By the way, so along the lines of things, if there was, this is all according to Bobby Kotick, if there was a culture of harassment and workplace uses of power and all of that, it was definitely the labor union's fault. It was definitely the move to organize that brought that to ABK. It was definitely there somehow.
There's a story in gamesindustry.biz about this.
Yeah, right. So, and by the way, this isn't just us like saying random things. This is
the story of over the years that tons of media outlets I'm sure we'll put some of the stories in the description from our show notes, just so you can kind of go
right.
if you want. But the point is, I think. Wait. What's our last one? Don't we have one other?
We have two really good ones.
Okay.
One of them is that it's not just us that thinks that he's slimy and needed to be gone. New York State almost blocked the Microsoft deal on the grounds that Bobby Kotick was too slimy to be involved in that deal. There's an Engadget article about that. They almost blocked it because he was involved. And then the last one, and this one isn't like nearly as bad as most of the other ones, but it's very bizarre. Is that his latest and probably last story, other than him leaving behind wherever we don't want to farewell, is he's promoting the idea that they could bring back Guitar Hero by using AI technology.
Let me see if I can find.
Bobby, we're not friends. Bobby, we never will be. But if somehow this finds it to your ears, stop.
Well, he can't. He is. He's stopping. He's going away. He's stopping. This is in an article from The Gamer. Let's see. He talked about the resurgence of a Guitar Hero series. We did a great episode, the first one on this channel, actually, the death of rock band, how a genre died in 5 years. Where he says, a big part of what I've seen in Microsoft is research, Kotick said. They do development in areas that are extraordinary, and being so able to tap into their AI and machine learning capabilities, the data analysis, and the new ways, or the data analytics, and the new ways of thinking about graphics, I just see unlimited potential for what we do. We're uniquely situated as a company because we have the very best franchises in all of video games. He continues, the reemergence of Guitar Hero and other things would not be possible without the different types of resources. And so the endless possibilities of the future are just incredibly exciting. And here's the last thing. We haven't made a Guitar Hero in a long time, and I think with AI and some new technologies that we can employ, we could create a really compelling new Guitar Hero. But you know, I can't share with you all the things we're working on because we have a lot of new things in production and development that require better mastery of these new technologies. Maybe, look, and we're reading that from that article. I wonder if there's some pieces in the middle that sort of fill in the gaps there. Like, I'm just saying. But like, Will and I were talking before the pre-show, which you should come to. You should come to the pre-show. Yeah. We do the pre-show on Twitch on Mondays at 11, where we just sort of ramp up and get ready for this show if you ever want to. We have some new people from Janet, from YouTube, moving over into Brad. The only way, I was like, why? What could AI do in a Guitar Hero setting?
So there are two big ones. There are two big ones. One of them was my original thought, which is they could just AI chart all the songs, or create an AI that charts songs on demand, so that you could, and then like sell that as like an add-on or a pack for the fundamental game. So rather than having to do all of the licensing, they're stepping that by saying that we don't own the rights to do any of that. People are using their own music to do it. So it's cheaper for them to make the AI that charts your own music that you could like I don't think Taylor Swift is gonna agree to have any of her songs charted. But
unless they paid a
right, more money than ABK's worth. So they'll just make an AI that charts your song for you, right, as like an idea. And there's a different legal fight to be had over that, obviously, but I think they have more of a leg to stand on there.
It's just, yeah. Anyway, he gone, or he gonna be gone.
He's gonna be gone. He's gonna be gone. All gone forever. Gone. Bye. No more Bobby. Bobby, go bye. Oh my God.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, wait. Yeah. You're okay? You wanna go okay? I am okay first. If you wanna go, you wanna be okay first?
You can be okay.
Okay, I'm gonna say 1-800 I feel okay was a great number that you could call for Sony company back in the day in the late 90s. It was really, really fun. That's not what I want to say. What I want to say is we all know how absolutely joy of getting, even with the contingent of a golden parachute, even with the contingent of a formation of a monopoly, how ecstatic I am to be filled with a sliver of hope that, like, maybe these properties and games and companies might be run slightly better, or at the very least not have human rights violations like built into that. Like, it's just, I want to be hopeful for this, but I don't want people to think that we're like, yay, Monopoly, because no.
Right.
It's a hard balance, but I wanted to talk about my joy of the situation, even though there is a darker side. And that makes sense.
Two things can be true at the same time, and this is a general problem that lots of companies, and we struggle with this in conversation and like everything. Two things can be true. It can be perceived as good and hopeful. Bobby Kotick is gone. It can also be not great that Microsoft now has a giant monopoly hanging over game industries, like that giant evil saucer in Independence Day over the White House. Like, it's not great to be under that looming shadow, right? But we're gonna focus on both things that are both true, right? And I think for a lot of people, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, or other diehard Blizzard gamers, I kind of fell off with this. My last Blizzard game was Heroes of the Storm. That was, and then they just kind of took that out back and were like, all right, you're going too far about the thing. So for me, I've been out for a while, but it feels like Bobby's involvement was sort of the symbol of the decay, the moral decay of Activision Blizzard.
It was the bat symbol that took all of the hits and allowed the company in itself to run certain ways and have distraction points. Like, in a lot of ways, he was a sieve or like a sponge, all the bad to it. And in a way, that can distract from getting fixed. That can help distract from actually fixing systemic problems. Now, look, Microsoft wants to make money. It's Microsoft. Come on. Right. But they're actively saying they're not going to impede unionization. I hope that is true. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt until we hear otherwise, because you're publicly saying it, so okay. It seems like they wanted Bobby out real quick, which means they saw him as a problem, which means they think they can probably not only, again, step one, make money, but do it in a way that is not actively, that is hurting less people.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I want to be careful, sort of what I'm saying here.
Right.
And then it feels like there is a chance that I could be excited about Overwatch again, or buy Hearthstone expansions, or like things that like. Again, I know any minor protest from any one of us is like that little wolf meme, just howling, not really doing much. But the way that this deal went through and how it almost stopped because of him, and how they had to they just wanted to get him out as quickly as possible, that does say they think they're running, like Microsoft at least thinks that they thought that they saw potential to make money running these companies in a different way. Because if they thought they could keep making money with the ways that Bobby was currently running it, they would have kept him.
Yeah.
They did. So I really do. I have hope, even though this is. It's weird.
Yeah, and so as we move into this next part on like what the Microsoft trust thing actually is, Janet, sound off in the comments. Is this enough? Is this like, this is the moment, right, that a lot of people have sort of quoted or pointed out as being a moment of pivotal change. If you left Blizzard Games for any reason, is this the moment that causes you to return, or are you still waiting for something? And if you're still waiting for something, is there a specific moment?
What's the thing?
What is the thing, right? What would it take to get you back as a customer? And is that even possible? because it might not be, and I think that that's totally fair and reasonable. And I'm not saying that any of those options isn't well within your purview as a consumer. It of course is, right? I just want to know what that line is for you, because I'm genuinely curious. I don't think I'm going to go back to Blizzard, but I also think it's because in the time that I haven't been playing Blizzard games, I found other games that I just want to play more than Blizzard games.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, Blizzard, for me, growing up, felt like a company that you trusted because the games came out when they considered them made by a group of people that, and don't get me wrong, let's not, there were problems at Blizzard before Activision bought it. Let's not pretend like there weren't. As far as from a making games perspective, they at least had consumer trust because they kept releasing excellent things on their timetable. It used to be kind of like the joke, like, oh, when's StarCraft 2 coming out? Oh, you know, when it's done. Like, and when Activision bought it, that slowly but surely changed. And devs left to start their own things, etc. And I feel like that level, that feeling of innovation, or even like, and it doesn't last forever, of course, but like an up-and-coming game dev or game just sort of die. And like left, like, and managed to acquire more profit for the shareholder. I don't know. There are things that would make me come back, because I do really like the IPs. We'll see what happens with it. But right now, speaking of IP, y'all, I want to see if I can. Do we think I could read all of the IPs that Microsoft now owns?
I think you should absolutely try.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna mess this up. Do you want to put do you want to have a timer on your end and you tell me when to start?
Yes, I will pull out my phone and I will begin a timer. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
3D Ultra Pinball, Call of Duty, Call of Power, Crash Bandicoot, Dark Rain, Diablo, Extreme Paintball, Port Boys, Fan of the Baseball, Gabriel Knight, Geometry Wars, Guitar Hero, Gun, Hearthstone, Heavy Hitter, Heretic, Exterior Storm, Hexen, Interstate 76, King's Quest, Lorabo, Mystery Series, Lost Vikings, the Lost Vikings, Matt Hoffman, BMX Pro, Overwatch, Phantasmagoria, Pitfall, Police Quest, Prototype, Quest for Glory, SWAT, Singularity, Skylanders, Soldier of Fortune, Space Quest, Spyro, StarCraft, Tenchu, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, True Crime, Ultimate Soccer Manager, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, and Zork. Then on King we have Alpha, Betty Saga, Blossom Blast Saga, Bubble Saga, Bubble Witch Saga, Candy Crush Saga, Diamond Digger Saga, Farming Dodo Saga, Hope Deluxe Saga, Papa Pear Saga, Paradise Space Saga, Pet Rescue Saga, Soldier Saga, Rebel Rider, Scrubby Dubby Saga, and Shuffle Cats. Then Bethesda, we have Commander Keen, Deathloop, Dishonored, Doom, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Hi-Fi Rush, Prey, Quake, Rage, Redfall, Starfield, Evil Within, Wolfenstein, Xbox, of course, owns Age of Empires, as well as Cosmic Quest, Crackdown, Crimson Skies, Fable, Forza, Gears of War, Halo, Killer Instinct, Kick Sports, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Pit Down Madness, Minecraft, Perfect Dark, Killers of Return, Project Psychonauts, RC Pro-Am, Rising Nation, Siberian, State of Decay, Thunder, Viva Pinata Wasteland, and Zoo Tycoon. That was longer than a minute.
A minute 11.
Really?
A minute 11. Yeah.
That list comes to us from Kotaku, by the way.
Right, but those are, but like, and those are all franchises that are owned by one umbrella company. I want to point out that one, like, here's the really terrifying part, right? Earlier we talked about right, okay. So Minecraft has 300 million copies, and that's one line on one segment of this, right? King notoriously,
apparently they have a lot of sagas,
right? Candy Crush Saga, and I think it's Bubble Saga. But Candy Crush is a well-known, very profitable mobile IP, right? And then in the Activision Blizzard thing, we've got WoW and what was the other big one? And those are probably Call of Duty. Yeah, Call of Duty are probably the biggest ones. with Overwatch and Diablo being up there, but I don't think either of those is as powerful as Warcraft. I think been around longer, and World of Warcraft worth quite a bit because it may.
Although I think Call of Duty destroys it. Like,
it does. It just doesn't. It's so big that it usually feels like its own thing to me. At least, like Call of Duty, and then I'm like, who makes that? It's Call of Duty makes Call of Duty, right? It's self-generated. Well, that's right. Right? So
yeah, there's a real No More Movie Stars vibe when it comes to Call of Duty.
Yes.
It's a studio. It's a Marvel film, not a Chris Hemsworth film. It is a Call of Duty game, not an Activision game. It's very
right. So the number of how many games there exist who don't play any of the games that Matt just mentioned? I know some people,
right?
I know some people in chat are going to sound off and say that they're not, and like that's true. But again, remind us, we're not the experts, right? So I think there's this very interesting thing where, like, Microsoft might actually be at the point where they control IP the vast majority even of gamers, and they're trying to get more, right? Shameless plug here. Jeff and I are going to be talking on Thursday about the fact that the day this comes out on YouTube, Diablo is moving to Steam. So we're going to be talking about that in Design Club, actually on Wednesday. So Design Club Wednesday, the day after.
So like, and even just sort of tying into that, the announcement that they had ready welcoming these new IPs and companies home, and they ended it with this weird. You've probably seen the trailer, but it's basically like ends it with like Xbox, Activision, and it's like
has big Borg vibes, you know? Has big like your cultural and technological distinctness will be added to our conglomerate. Resistance is futile. Give me your wallet. Like
and look. Many people in Brad right now have been saying stuff about listen, Game Pass is, I think, we could probably say without any hyperbole, that is probably the best deal in gaming. Please look at the precedent of other streaming services. Look at what's going on right now. We can't look at the 6 months of the year. We have to look. Here's how I think this is going to play out. Bunch of Blizzard and Activision games are going to get added. Everything is this is so great. It's such a great thing for gaming. It's going to be so good. And then when they get something crazy, well, they're going to have to up the price. Because it's just so much offering. It's going to be there. Like they can't keep it at this price. They have to move it a couple bucks. Oh, and then this game's going to disappear, and this game's going to disappear because just discoverability is not letting other games be seen. So we can't have that.